Happy New Year! I hope you all have a wonderful, relaxing, peaceful, and contented journey into 2024. My name is Johanna, and I'm here to talk about books. Incidentally, on the subject of books, I'm sitting in front of a very small part of a room of bookshelves that I helped to design, build, and organize. Impressed? Yes, I'm sitting here in my parents' house in Denmark in the comforting glow that follows a wonderful, cozy Christmas celebration. And today, while the wood stove crackles and snow falls romantically past the window, a girl can dream. I'm reflecting on the 54 books that I read this year. Because that's a heck of a lot of reviews to cover, I have limited myself to one sentence per book. I got this idea from a fellow booktuber who I love and whose channel I will link in the description down below. Before we get into it though, I would love to know, what was your favorite book of 2023? Let me know in the comments. Now, without further ado, here are one sentence reviews of the 54 books that I read in 2023 and the rating that I gave them out of 5. From memoirs to novels to short story collections, I left no page unturned. Stay tuned. Letters from Father Christmas, a sweet collection of letters from the author of The Lord of the Rings to his children over many Christmases, with an adorable cast of characters and many festive illustrations. 3.75 stars. The best of me. Coming from someone who has really enjoyed David Sedaris' writing in the past, this felt more like a discography than a greatest hits. 2.75 stars. The Overstory, an important and illuminating story about the wonder of trees and their plight in the Anthropocene, if slightly one note. 3.75 stars. Day Tripper, a poignant graphic novel pointing to the significant moments of a man's life, which captivated me but also left me wondering about the why behind it all. 3.5 stars. Early Riser, unique, funny, and bizarre, this alternate history novel set in an Ice Age world has since been added to my favorites list and my list of winter book recommendations. 5 stars. The Cruelest Miles, the gripping story of a sled dog relay that saved a small Alaskan community from a diphtheria epidemic in the 1920s, which I also recommend reading this winter. 5 stars. Project Hail Mary, one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to, with a narrator who perfectly captures the straightforward writing style. This sweeping yet light-hearted sci-fi was difficult to put down and actually brought me to tears. 5 stars. Bis das gut komme it Minske forbi, a boy's dreary and tragic coming of age in a dysfunctional family living on an impoverished farm in Denmark, which was almost too bleak to enjoy. 3.25 stars. Green Glass House. Duped into reading this by BookTube, I quickly realized that I am not interested in young adult fiction, and especially not middle grade, unless it is steeped in nostalgia, although this did come through with some cozy wintry vibes. 2 stars. Crying in H Mart. The rich reflections of a young woman grieving her mother's death broke my heart and made me want to read on. 4 stars. Cloud Cuckoo Land. Following a unique cast of characters connected by an ancient text, this is a beautifully written story dedicated to librarians, which had me hooked from the beginning, although I enjoyed two of the timelines a lot more than the third. 4 stars. Educated. This extraordinary memoir made me feel deeply appreciative of my own upbringing and education, and glad that the author shared her story. 4 stars. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. While this had all the potential of a favorite for its second-person perspective and inward-looking exploration of identity and storytelling, to me the writing came across as a bit melodramatic and, at times, cringy. 2.75 stars. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Listening to Maya Angelou read her account of growing up in the American South during the 1930s was an enchanting, if heart-wrenching experience, though its rating is a bit swayed by the fact that it's part of a series I haven't completed yet. 3.75 stars. The Grown Up. I had to add this to my Gillian Flynn collection when I found it in a charity shop, and while it definitely isn't my favorite of her stories, her distinctive writing style and sharp characterization come through. 3 stars. A Short History of Nearly Everything. A useful foundational read for people like me wanting a generally accessible overview of the long ago events that shaped the world that we live in today, or at least the world of the early 2000s when it was published. 3.5 stars. The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Yes, tidying up is truly life-changing, and Marie Kondo can light the way in this book. Though if you're a normal human, you'll probably need to add a few of your own organizational categories to her list. 4 stars. Our Wives Under the Sea. Captivating, haunting, and beautifully written, this story about a couple reeling from the aftermath of a deep-sea mission became an instant favorite and was included on my list of horror book recommendations. 5 stars. Moby Dick. This abridged, cast-narrated audiobook of the seaborne mission tracking the white whale was exciting and engaging, harking back to my cozy childhood days of listening to adventurous and dramatized stories day in and day out. 3.75 stars. The Thursday Murder Club. An unbelievably hyped up murder mystery that totally fell flat for me, although I enjoyed the group of elderly friends. 1.5 stars. The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. A dark collection of horror stories set against the socio-political climate of modern Argentina, which definitely unsettled and disturbed me. 4 stars. No Country for Old Men. This page-turning and spectacularly bloody chase along the Texas-Mexico border explores the darker aspects of human nature and has a very good movie to go along with a great audiobook. 4.25 stars. Bad Dirt. A vivid collection of stories from one of the most original and talented writers of all time, with a quintessential focus on an American West setting. 4 stars. The Buried Giant. Based on all the hype surrounding this author, I definitely expected to be a lot less bored, and God help me if the protagonist calls his wife Princess one more time. 1 star. A nod to my teenage days of reading lots of Chuck Palahniuk, this book didn't really stand out, though I like that his writing style is so unique, and I want to read some of his other books to decide whether or not I'm a big fan. 2.5 stars. Saga Volume 1. A graphic novel like no other I've ever read. This is full of stunning illustrations, and its compelling story makes me want to read the rest of the series. 3.5 stars. East of Eden. This is my partner's favorite book, and after reading it, I can definitely understand why. 4.5 stars. The Year of Magical Thinking. While I am a huge fan of Joan Didion's writing, this one didn't stand out as much as her short nonfiction, but I'm aware that I'm probably swayed by my inability to relate to the subject matter. 3.75 stars. Demon Copperhead. Written by another top-tier author in my book, this audiobook felt like the main character was telling me his life story, and we became great friends along the way. 4.25 stars. I'm Glad My Mom Died. This story was shocking and definitely needed to be told, and while I felt like the writing and the reading of the audiobook had room for improvement, I really liked that it seemed like it all came from Jeanette McCurdy herself. 3.25 stars. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This book's focus on video games was so cozy, as was its decade-spanning timeline. 4.25 stars. Green Lights. Definitely one of my favorite audiobooks of all time, which I was not expecting, and I have new respect for Matthew McConaughey after listening to it. 5 stars. Things We Lost in the Fire. Another Mariana Enríquez collection that freaked me out even more than the first one I read. 4.25 stars. The Power of Now. While I think the philosophy laid out in this book has some holes in modern society, there are definitely some useful takeaways that I have since tried to apply in my everyday life. 4 stars. The Anthropocene Reviewed. I wish there had been more connection between or explanation for the topics explored in this book, but they were compelling and entertaining all the same when John Green read them to me. 4 stars. Unturned. This book was a much appreciated gift to help me practice my Danish, and it told of a small town murder mystery that I was keen to figure out, even if it wasn't the best book of all time. 2.75 stars. Under the Banner of Heaven. A disturbing story of murder driven by religious extremism, with a satisfying balance of research and personal perspectives. 3.25 stars. My year of rest and relaxation. I love books where not much happens, but the writing makes it worth reading. I often love unlovable characters, and I really enjoy a slow burn. So, 5 stars. Piranesi. This one-of-a-kind book definitely brought up more questions than it answered. 4.25 stars. Americana. I read this with my sister Madigan after first discovering it in college, and it was just as good as I remembered, with gorgeous writing and so many insights and perspectives that continue to stick with me. 4.5 stars. A House with Good Bones. As with the other T. Kingfisher book I read, I feel like this had more wannabe funny than scary moments, and I don't know why the protagonist almost did nothing else but drink or talk about boxed wine, but I did like some of the horror imagery. 2.75 stars. Dark Places. Another reread that was just as good, if not darker, than I remembered, from my favorite thriller writer. 4.25 stars. How to Sell a Haunted House. A good old creepy doll story. 3 stars. The Only Good Indians. The distinct voice and rare subject matter made this book stand out, while also successfully scaring me. 4.5 stars. The Haunting of Hill House. A 60-year-old story that still felt fresh and creepy, even if I don't fully understand everything that happened and what it meant, and plan to dive deeper into it at some point. 4.25 stars. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This read to me like it was written by a 12-year-old, and there was a storyline that never fully got resolved, but the characters had grown on me a bit by the end. 2 stars. Bunny. I am obsessed with the meticulous characterization, the expertly crafted imagery, and the bizarre story. 5 stars. Vicious. A fascinating superhero and supervillain story that has climbed through the rankings in my head since I've read it, and that I already can't wait to read again. 5 stars. Skipping Christmas. Oh God, save yourself. Just watch the movie. It's way more charming and less racist and sexist. 1 star. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I guess Suzanne Collins set the bar really high, but this prequel really just made me want to reread the trilogy. 3 stars. The Deal of a Lifetime. A wonderful novella to listen to while I wrapped Christmas presents, which took me by surprise in the best way. 4.5 stars. Eileen. An almost favorite that took a really disappointing turn. 4 stars. The Night Circus. A beautifully vivid story that I already can't wait to read again, knowing what I know now. 5 stars. Last Christmas. A collection of essays that I enjoyed a lot more than I was expecting, and that I would return to for future Christmases. 3.75 stars. So, there you have it. 54 books broken down into one sentence each. What did you think? Would you agree with my ratings? Do you have a bone to pick with any of them? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button down below, share it with your fellow bookworms, and don't forget to subscribe so we can go on more literary adventures together. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful transition into the new year. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!